think it's the first 3 years before he got hurt in New York.
Yep.
And it's frustrating is that you put so much effort into it. So how much will he be missed? It was not like, with the exception, Skip, of the Cowboys game, he's kind of like been a non-factor this year for the Browns. You look at yesterday, and I know he got hurt early, and then he get hurt. That's what's really upsetting is that he got hurt on a pick.
Yep.
But Higgins was six targets, 6 catches, 110. Landry did what he did, and then Peebles and Bryant. So, and Joku. Skip, it's not like they were not using. I'm not so sure they really understand or know how to use a guy with that skill set. You would think that Stefanski, coming from Minnesota, and he had Diggs and he had Thielen, and to see how Koob was dialing up and getting those, I don't get it, Skip. I just don't get how they could not use the guy properly. It's frustrating. It's a long journey, but with medicine and with the rehab and the way Odell, I know Odell's going to work. He'll be back, but if I'm him, man, you know what? I want to come back and I want to show, but I'm going to need to move on, Skip. I need to leave Cleveland. I'm sorry. It didn't work out for either one of us. Neither of us benefited the way we thought we would. So it's basically time for me to just, you know what? Let's just wash our hands with each other, sanitize, Purell, whatever you want, Germex, whatever you want to use, and just go our separate ways.
I completely agree. It is time for him to move on. I'm very, very sorry to hear this for Odell's sake.
Yep.
God bless you, man. I'm knocking on wood for your recovery. Another serious injury that he has suffered. And to your point, it was like injury added to insult because Baker had just thrown an early interception and Odell tried to track him down, and you know the rest of the story. But I stand by what I said from the start, and I don't want to be insensitive to Odell here, but it just wasn't working out. And the irony of yesterday's game was Baker had become so Odell conscious. He kept trying to make it happen with Odell, and it wasn't happening. For whatever reason, there were 2 stud receivers with Jarvis and Odell, who were best friends from college at Louisiana State, obviously at LSU. And there wasn't enough footballs to go around to keep both of them happy.
Nope.
And yesterday, it was very intriguing to me that once Odell was gone, what happened to Baker? Well, he dug him a hole with the early pick. And here he came, and Baker, throwing mostly from the pocket, completed 21 straight passes, which is a Browns franchise record. And he's back to his rookie year, throwing to a bunch of guys you haven't heard of.
Correct.
Such as Rashard Higgins, who caught a bunch of big balls for him as a rookie.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And Donovan Peoples-Jones is a rookie this year from Michigan, and all of a sudden, he was comfortable getting open and catching balls from Baker. And in that last drive, Baker threw from the pocket to Higgins for 30 yards. And then he threw straight from the pocket. And we both had issues with him standing strong and throwing from the pocket. And he throws 24 yards to Peoples-Jones and victimized the same guy, that Darius Phillips, who victimized him, the cornerback for the Bengals. Early, he got even with him on the late pass, even though if Darius Phillips had found the ball in the air, it was... At least
I don't know how he missed that one.
I know, because he had a shot. And instead it was...
It's like he turned the wrong way or something, because he turned inside and the ball, and next thing you know, he's like...
Peoples-Jones is like, oh, I got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
And he got both feet in bounds.
Ball game.
But it hadn't worked. Skip, it hadn't worked.
Nope, it hadn't.
I don't know, and I don't want to put the blame on Odell. I don't want to put it on the Browns. But for whatever reason, we came together. It's like a man. Sometimes, Skip, you know, you're like, oh, I love that. Oh, I love you. I love you. Love it first sight, Jenny. I'm sorry. You know what I'm talking about, Jenny. You're like, oh, this is my. And you get when you finally get.
Well, why wouldn't I know?
Now you don't know.
You're talking to Jenny instead of me.
Well,
I'm right here.
Am I chopped liver?
No,
yes.
Ernestine just she tolerating you right now.
Love it.
During football season, you're like she tolerates you during football season. You probably
we did have a little blow up yesterday. She made the mistake of coming in to my room.
Skip, that was not the reason the Cowboys were losing.
Not blame her.
You need to stop with that foolishness.
She wanted to show me a new pair of sneakers yesterday, and I was looking, and it was a 4th down play that was a disaster for the Cowboys, where they ended up throwing on 4th and 1. They threw some weird bomb to nobody, and I took her shoe and just threw it down. She said, so
Skip,
this has nothing to do with
Skip, will you stop this foolishness?
Nothing.
You do realize it's not like, you know what, Ernestine probably walked in the room with Skip. Let us mess up. You know it doesn't happen like that.
Yeah,
that's not the reason why the Cowboys losing. They losing because they stink.
She has power over what's happening in Washington, D.C.
But back to Odell. Skip, for whatever reason, this thing hasn't worked.
Yep.
By any stretch of the imagination. No analytics can tell you. No coach, nobody can tell you. The Browns fan, as much as they might love Odell, the show that he put on before the game, catching with one hand and the all between his legs.
Yep.
Skip, it just hasn't worked.
Yep, I got it. So, going for, I know this was just one win at Cincinnati against the woeful Bengals.
Yes.
But it showed you they can still be pretty good.
Yeah.
They still got a shot to make the playoffs. They're now 5-2.
But the most impressive thing, they were pounding Joe Burrow, and he still threw for 4 bills.
He is really good.
He is, Skip. He really is.
Big time good and tough.
I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen a guy that they had a 4th or 5th round grade on him, played like he played. I believe he had the greatest, at least I know for a quarterback, the greatest college season, go on to be the #1 pick.
I mean, 4th or 5th round grade his first year at LSU.
Yeah.
I agree.
No, coming before going into the last year, he had a 4th or 5th round grade. He goes on to be #1, and he comes out, Skip. He's having as good a first 5 or 6 games as any rookie in the history of the game.
Well, he had the greatest playoff run in the history of college football. So,
But he's been unbelievable. But this thing, Odell, get well, bruh, work hard.
Yes, sir.
But just
here we
go somewhere else.
Onward and upward.
Yep.
All right, here's an interesting question. Did Tom Brady finally do enough post-game to make Shannon happy? You know, he was on social media,
Way to go, Tom.
smiling about the win.
Go shake that hand.
That is next.
No mercy.